Okay. So, yeah, no particular theme this evening's coming through, which makes me think it's just a very general, all over body practice this evening. We'll kind of, yeah, cover all the main things that we like to cover in a class. So I thought we'd just start with a bit of breathing, which we don't always do in class, but is such a huge part of yoga. So we'll just do a couple of breathing practices to begin, and then get into our movement. So get yourself comfortable and sit on a block if you need. And really just the main thing is to make sure the torso feels nice and free, so not leaning against anything ideally. Okay, and just take a moment to settle here. Maybe just close the eyes as that way of just signaling to yourself that we're moving our sensory awareness from the out to the in. Hi, Nikki, welcome. So we're consciously engaging pratyahara, which means sense withdrawal. We're withdrawing our 5 senses and moving our awareness internally. So with the eyes closed or softly open if you prefer, just become very aware of your breath. And we'll just have a little look at pranayama. Pranayama meaning restraint of prana, life force, but really we're using the breath. And the first stage of pranayama, which is written in the sutras, is about regulating the breath, becoming conscious of and regulating the breath. So the first thing we do is become conscious of our breathing. Just notice your breath for a moment. Probably in the act of noticing the breath, you've probably already altered the breath a little bit, whether you realize or not. But even if you haven't, or if you have, just notice before we do anything, any particular practices, just notice, does your inhale naturally feel longer than your exhale, or your exhale feel longer than your inhale? You know, our breath is changing all the time, but in this kind of moment, can you determine a kind of ratio between the inhale and the exhale? Or do they feel more or less even? And as I say, in the act of investigating this, you've probably already consciously altered it, which is fine. And then we're going to really try and regulate the breath. Okay, so we're going to try and do even inhale, the even exhale. And as our second practice, we'll add a bit of breath retention. Okay, so just let's synchronize the breath. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose if possible. And out. And just do that one more time, breathing in. And out. This time we're going to breathe in for the count of 4. So inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Going to increase to 5. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If it feels okay, 6. Inhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just release. Just take some slow, deep, conscious breaths at your own rhythm now. So I forgot to add the caveat at the start that if at any point any of these pranayama techniques creating anxiety or tension in your body, just come out and come into your own count. No problem. But as best you can, without tension, we try to match the count. This is what working with pranayama does. It helps us learn to control, direct, expand, contract the breath at will, and retone our muscles that we need for breathing, and we kind of become master of our breath. Okay, so we are going to do the same, and we're going to add breath retention. This is kind of a bit like more advanced breathing. So if the breath retention doesn't work for you, we're going to hold at the top of the inhale and at the bottom of the exhale. It creates anxiety. Just skip it. Just ignore my count. This might be a bit tricky, and come into your own internal count, or just slow, deep, conscious breaths. Okay, there's never any compulsion. Nothing's compulsory. Okay. So otherwise, we're going to do the same, and I'm going to gently expand the kumbhaka or breath retention each time after the inhale and after the exhale. Just do what's comfortable. Okay, and we won't do such a super long inhale or exhale. We'll just do maybe 5 in, 5 out. Okay, so again, let's just synchronize the breath. Take a big inhale and exhale. And inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 3. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold out 2, 3. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold in 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold out 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Again, just take a few slow, deep breaths, noticing how you feel. This pranayama gives us something to focus the mind on, so you might feel a bit clearer mentally, possibly, maybe not. Okay, so let's just take this breath awareness into our movement practice. So when you're ready, we're just going to start seated and move in all the different ways we can move from here. So just begin by walking the hands forward as far as is available and drop the head between the upper arms. So just easing into the body now. And just take some nice slow deep breaths into especially the back of the body. So try to, as best you can, stay aware of your breath and stay aware of regulating the breath, just as a focus for this evening. See if we can just keep coming back to the breath and seeing if we can make the inhale more or less the same as the exhale. Just take one more deep, regulated inhale and exhale. And then at the end of the exhale, just slowly walk the hands back in and come back up. Bring the hands behind you now. Press the hands down so the fingertips pointing forward, if that feels okay, or behind if better. Lift the chest, keep the buttocks on the floor. You can lift the chin slightly or keep the chin tucked in, but we're arching the spine here. We're lifting the collarbones, the chest up towards the ceiling, trying to keep the elbows moving towards each other. Breathing all the way up to the collarbones. Again, if possible, with regulated breath. Notice if that's a challenge. Notice what's fuller for you naturally, the inhale or the exhale. Just for the last couple of breaths, optional to lift the hips here, totally optional, or keep the buttocks on the floor. So open the groins a little bit, If you've raised the hips, lower them back down. Bring yourself forward, back to vertical. We're going to inhale, stretch the hands up above the head, interlace the fingers, press the palms up to the ceiling. And just take another inhale here. Exhale, twist to the left, keeping the upper arms in line with the ear, the chest nice and broad. So we're feeling a lot of length in the side body. Keep the shoulders drawing away from the ears, down, but without losing the length. On your next inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, twist to the right, but we're still stretching up through the palms. Drop that tailbone down. And then inhale back to the center. Exhale, release the hands. And we're going to just repeat that little sequence with a slight variation. So cross your other foot in front or other shin in front now. Really pay attention to the body's feedback because it might feel quite different this side as we once again repeat those movements. So reaching the hands forward, dropping the head, keep the back rim of the pelvis glued to the floor. So kind of press back through the hands if needs be to keep the pelvis rooted. Try not to let the buttocks lift. Breathe deep into the back of the body, noticing any different sensations on this side in the hips. There's pain in the knee, any of the knees, either of the knees, and come back a bit. Slow, deep, if possible, regular breaths. And then at the end of your next exhale, walking the hands back in. And again, coming straight to the kind of opposite shape, we bring the hands behind us, lift the chest, keep the buttocks down, at least to begin with. So buttocks on the floor, but we're lifting, arching the spine, lifting the chest, keeping the chin in or slightly lifted, but not dropping the head all the way back in this one. And drawing those inhales all the way up to the upper chest. Expand and open the chest with your breath. And then try to let the exhale match that. And then again for the last 2 or 3 breaths, if you wish, if you did it on the other side and it feels okay this side, lift the hips. Or keep the buttocks down. And then slowly lower the buttocks if you raise them. Coming back to vertical. We're just going to do something slightly different here. Inhale, raise the hands to touch above the head. Exhale, take the right hand onto the left knee, the left hand behind, turning to the left, looking towards or maybe beyond your left shoulder, but keep the chest nice and broad here. Breathe deep. Notice when we come to the twist, does your breath pattern change? Often the inhale can feel quite challenging when we're twisted. As best you can, see if you can keep it long to match the exhale. And then as you exhale, unwind, come back to the center. I'm going to come in the same way. So an inhale raises the hands to touch above the head. And an exhale takes the left hand onto the right knee, right hand behind. Spine is your vertical axis around which we're twisting here. Chest is broad, tailbones dropping. Legs relax, legs and hips relax, but a slight awareness of the pelvic floor and the lower belly drawing back to the spine. And then again, bring your awareness back to the breath. Can we expand the inhale to match the exhale, even in this twist? This is what pranayama practices help us with, help us to master breath, to breathe at whatever ratio we choose to, whatever length we choose to. And at the end of your exhale, or during the exhale, just unwind back to the center. We're just going to mix it up slightly, stay seated, but bring your left leg behind you. So we're coming into the deer. So there's this like, kind of this angle, 45 degree on both legs, and both feet are flexed. So you're on you should feel like your outer ankle of the right foot, which is in front, is touching the floor, and the inner ankle of the left foot is touching the floor. Now, I know this can be super challenging, and you can see it in my body. The left buttock's going to be lifting properly, and we're going to be slumping over to the right because of that. So we're just going to take a few breaths here to, as best we can, start to move the spine back to the center. You can have your fingertips on the floor, and to invite, not force, but invite the left buttock to lower, to drop as much as it's able to. Because what I notice in this posture is obviously there's a lot of physical resistance, but there's also a whole layer of mind resistance above the body resistance, because we're not used to sitting in this position. So the hip feels, well, the mind thinks the hip's vulnerable, and to some extent it is. But we want to just take slow, deep breaths and just give ourselves a bit of time to let go of whatever's just the superficial mind resistance, to actually come to the place where the body is comfortable. And maybe in that process, maybe you feel that the left buttock's dropped a little bit, and that we've evened out the sides of the body a little bit within like our physical capacity. Okay, then we're going to just twist. So turn to face your right knee, the shin that's in front, and either just twist here or take the left hand onto the thigh or the knee and the right hand behind. If you feel super comfortable, you can even pick up your right hand and reach for the left hip. This is optional. Don't force this. So you could just be framing the thigh and just doing a very gentle twist, or left hand on the right thigh, right hand behind you. And again, can we regulate our breathing? And at the end of your exhale, unwind. Yeah, we're going to take our right hand behind us, a bit like what we just did. Lean into your right hand, and if it feels okay, we're going to lift the hips and just take the left arm back a little bit, so we get this kind of big front body opening. If it does not feel good in your back or your hips or anywhere else, just stay down. We're only going to stay here for 2 or 3 breaths or so. So slowly lower down, pressing through the right hand to lower the hips with control. Make sure you kind of come back to the starting place, and then we'll swap sides. So just take your hands behind you, mindfully come out. If you need to, between sides, to rub any part of the body, bring life back, then do. And then find the same position now, but with the left shin in front. So again, kind of this kind of angle, and the foot flexed on both legs. So your the sole of your left foot's kind of touching your right thigh. And just see what this side feels like. You know, we're usually very asymmetrical in the pelvis, most of us. This is definitely my tight side, but just feel how it is in your body. And we never want to force, so we don't feel that we need to be in the same place as we were on the other side. But again, we just take that moment to kind of come back to the center line with the spine as best we can, and invite, without force, a release around that right hip, a kind of dropping of the right sit bone, dropping of the right buttock, and feeling like we're evening up the side waist a bit here. But don't force. And if any posture doesn't feel good, you just come out, find another one, or unmute and ask me. I can give you another one, no problem. Okay, so we're just going to give it a little bit of time, just maybe another 20 seconds or so. The other thing that tends to happen, I notice, is if there's more, this is my more resistant side, so I feel like I'm leaning forward more. So again, I'm going to explore what my actual physical edge is, rather than my mind trying to protect and guard. So can I bring my spine back to the center line, both in terms of coming back from the side, but also coming back from forward, if that makes sense. Okay, and again, we try to regulate the breath. When the breath is regular and smooth, the body feels safe to release. So we're going to twist again. So turn to face your left knee, and this could be a super gentle twist, just framing that thigh, or we take the right hand onto the left thigh, or just behind the knee, and the left hand behind. And again, possibly, if you're feeling super comfortable here, reaching all the way around for the right hip bone with the left hand. And then we focus on regulating our breath. So we're just kind of weaving the pranayama. It's like the entry to pranayama is breath awareness and regulation of inhale and exhale. So we're just kind of tentatively weaving pranayama through our practice this evening. So even if you do an internal count, it might help you, like in for 4, out for 4. It'd be super good kind of meditation focus for the mind as well. And then at the end of your next exhale, unwind. If it feels okay, left hand comes just kind of behind your left hip somewhere with the fingertips pointing back. We lift the hips and we reach the right hand back, and it's kind of a bit of a back bend. We're kind of lifting the chest up towards the ceiling here. If you start to pinch in the back anywhere, it doesn't feel good, just come down, but otherwise, one more breath or so. And then push down through your left hand to lower the hips with control and just spiral your way back to the starting place. And then we'll come onto our hands and knees. So just find your way briefly onto our hands and knees. Just noticing how the hips feel. Deer, that's what we just did. Deer position for the legs is quite intense, but it's a great hip opener. So just feeling what you feel around the hip joints here. And then we're just going to move into the spine. So inhale into the cow, lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly, looking up, exhaling into the cat, tailbone under, stretch the spine to the ceiling. And just keep that going with the breath. Stretching into the front of the body in the cow, stretching into the back of the body with the cat. And again, can we regulate the breath? And now, because we're synchronizing breath and movement, the breath regulation becomes even more significant. If we regulate the breath and we move with the breath, then we kind of evenly stretch the front and the back of the body here. And then at the end of your next exhale, just come to neutral. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward dog. So feet hip distance apart. Fingertips spreading. And really kind of press the fingertips and the thumb tip down actively. Press the palm down actively in each hand. And spread the toes. And see if you can spread the soles of the feet. Sinking the heels. Don't worry if they're not touching the floor, but they're kind of descending towards the floor. Bending the knees as much as we need. If we need to bring the knees down, that's also fine if it gets too intense. But otherwise, just about 2 or 3 more deep breaths here. And again, even if you do an internal count, like breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. And then look forward, bring the feet towards the hands. So do that however works for you. So we end up with the feet directly underneath the hips, and we're folding over our legs so we can bend the knees as much as we need. Maybe holding the opposite elbow or just letting the arms dangle. Your choice. And again, that focus. Use it as a kind of taming the mind tool as well, to come back to an internal count if it works for you. And then at the end of your exhale, bring the hands to the hips, bend the knees, press through the legs, coming up with a flat back. We'll change the screen. So we're going to come into some sun salutations. So I come to stand at the front of the mat. Just before we begin, interlace the fingers and press the knuckles down toward the floor. And this helps draw the shoulders back and down. And at the same time, drop the tailbone. So rather than sticking the bum out, we drop the tailbone down and engage with our deep core here. Release the bind of the fingers, but keep the shoulders back. Keep the shoulders in line with the ears and the hips. Now connect your breath. Let's just breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time, inhale, raise the hands. 2, 1. Exhale, fold. 2, 1. Inhale, look up and lengthen. 2, 1. Exhale, plank. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lower the knees, lower the chin and the chest. 2, 1. Inhale into your back bend of choice. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, downward dog. 3, 2, 1. Taking a few slow, deep, if possible, regulated breaths here. I'll leave you to go into your own count, if you wish. And at the end of your next exhale, look forward, bring the feet to the hands. We're going to inhale, look up. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, fold. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, raise the hands. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hands to the side. 3, 2, 1. And again, inhale. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, look up. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, plank. 3, 2, 1. Inhale here, knees down if you need. 2, 1. Exhale, lower knees on off the floor. 2, 1. Inhale, back bend. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, downward dog. 3, 2, 1. And again, leaving you with your own breath. Keep the internal count going if it's working for you. Notice if it's helping with the mental aspect of your practice, anchoring your mind on the present moment. And at the end of your next exhale, look forward, walk, step, maybe jump feet to the hands. And then we're going to inhale, look up. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, drop the head. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, raise the hands. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hands to the sides. 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale up. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, fold forward, hands down. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, look up. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, plank or tabletop. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lower. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, back bend. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, downward dog. 3, 2, 1. Regulated breath. See if you can stay with that internal mind focus. The breath is our best tool we have for present moment awareness, mindfulness, or one of the best. And the exhale, look forward, walk, step, jump feet to the hands, and inhale, look up. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lower the head. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, raise the hands. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hands to the sides. 3, 2, 1. So hopefully you were able to stay with the count. If you weren't, it's absolutely fine, but this is pranayama, learning to match our breath to a prescribed count, either given to us or our own. Okay, so let's come to face the long end of the mat. We'll do some Just quite classic standing postures. So we'll come into the triangle. So not too wide with the legs, and turn the left foot in and the right foot out, and the hips facing forward. Inhale here, and exhale, slide to the right, bring the right hand down, lift the left hand up, keeping the torso open to the side as best we can. It's okay on your neck, look up. And once we've found our shape, we can then come back to our breath awareness, keeping our internal awareness, maybe regulating the breath with an internal count. One more inhale and exhale. Inhale coming up, swapping sides, right foot turns in, left foot opens all the way out, but the hips stay facing forward. Big inhale, exhale, stretching to the left, release the left hand down to meet the left leg, right hand reaches up, looking up if it's okay. And then again, do your own count internally. Same inhale, same length inhale and exhale. I'm doing it myself, and I'm remembering how effective this simple practice is to take your practice to a whole other level, anchoring the mind in the present moment. One more breath. And inhale coming up. Widen your stance slightly. We're going to do the same. This time I'll give you a count. So again, feel free to ignore me and do your own. So we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to bend the right leg now. So the right knee's above the ankle or behind, and bring the right elbow onto the thigh, possibly hand to the floor. Either way, the left upper arm's going to come up and over. And then we're going to breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, coming up. Swap the feet, so turn the right foot in, left foot all the way out, hips forward. And then we stretch out on an inhale, and an exhale, we bend the left knee now. Checking in, left knee above or behind the ankle. Find your elbow to thigh or hand to the floor. Right upper arms close to the ear, palm facing the floor. Look up to your top hand. Okay, 4 breaths. Here we go. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then inhale to come out. Turn your left foot in. So now all 10 toes are pointing forward. Outstretches of the feet parallel. I'm not going to do a count this time. So just see which you prefer. Me giving you a count or you directing your own count. Notice if you kind of get lazy and don't, which is fun. Okay, so hands on the hips. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, look up, lifting the chest. Exhale, forward fold. And just come into your own internal count if you wish. Everything's an invitation. Dropping the hands to the floor, relaxing the back of the neck. And just go inwards, be with your breath, be with your pranayama. And then at the end of your next exhale, just take the hands forward. Inhale, straighten the arms and look up. Exhale, bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, coming up, opening the hands wide. Exhale, release the hands down. And just bring the feet together and come to face the front of your mat again. So again, we're just doing classic posture today. So we're going to step the left foot back, having the heels in line, more or less, and the hips facing forward. If you know you've got tight hamstrings and you've got the luxury of blocks, have your 1 or 2 blocks close to your front foot. Hands on the hips, inhale, lift the chest, look up, exhale, forward fold. Keeping the hips facing forward, release your hands to the floor. If the floor is unavailable, hopefully you've got 1 block in front of the foot or 1, 2 either side of the foot. If you don't have blocks and you can't reach the floor, put your hands on your front shin, as I'm showing here. And we drop the head. And we come back to our breath awareness, breath regulation. So I didn't have a theme at the start of the class, but the theme has landed, as often happens. And it's really about how we weave pranayama into our asana practice, to take it to another level of potency, to yoke, unite the mind and the body via the breath. One more breath. And then at the end of the exhale, bring the hands to the hips. If you need to, put a little bend in the front knee as you bring yourself up. And just before we swap sides, we just inhale, raise the hands, palms together, or Kali Mudra, where you interlace everything except the index fingers. And just feel like a stretch through the front of the body here before we swap sides. I'm just really enjoying doing this at the moment. Dropping the tailbone, feeling a kind of connection between your right big toe and your fingertips here, stretching the whole front line of the body. And then exhale, step the left foot to join the right and bring the hands to the hips. So we come in the same way on the other side. So left foot forward, stepping the right foot back again. Your right toes are in front of your heels slightly. Your heels are more or less in line, or your left foot's a foot's width further out to the left. Give yourself a bit more space. We try to bring the hip bones to face forward, especially that right hip bone, as best we can. Hands on the hips. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, take that forward fold. Have your blocks either side of the front foot if you need, or hands on the block in front of that foot, or hands on the shin if you can't reach the floor. Drop the head. With this posture, eventually we're working towards both legs being straight, but if our hamstrings are tight, feel free to bend that left knee, the front knee, to prevent overstraining, pulling the muscle. Definitely don't want to do that. And once we've found our shape, awareness internally on the breath, pratyahara, sense withdrawal, pranayama, working with breath. When we work with our breath and master our breath, we master our capacity to harness and direct and move our life force energy, our prana, for health and vitality. So it's strong, important, powerful work, this, and it's working with the mind. If we can keep that tension, the internal count. And then at the end of your next exhale, hands on the hips. Take that little micro bend in the front knee if you need as you come up. And again, we'll just finish by Kali Mudra, interlacing everything except the index finger, pointing the index fingers up and feeling this kind of connection, the fascia line from the left big toenail to the fingertips, feeling that the whole front body is opening here. There's a slight back bend, but we're dropping the tailbone, breathing into the chest. And then again, as before, just bring the hands to the side as you take that step forward and bring the right foot to join the left. Okay, so We'll come into a balance, but just before we do that, we'll take a stronger posture. We'll take the chair and we'll see if we can still regulate the breath when we're in a strong posture. So bend the knees, sink the hips, bring the fingertips towards the floor. And then inhale, raise the hands as high as possible. I'm going to try and stay here for 10 breaths. So keep sinking the hips. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Halfway. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, straighten the legs. Exhale, bring the hands down. Did any of you make it to the end? Well done if you did. Well done if you didn't. I hope you did what you could there. And just notice, when the intensity grows, the breath can be a tool. The breath can be something that we can use to get us through the intensity. Okay, so after that, let's just open up the thighs, because that was strong work on the thighs. We'll just do a really simple balance and possibly into the dancer's pose. Okay, so just with the left leg firm, just pick up the right foot, bring the right heel towards the buttock with both hands if we can, otherwise just the right hand, left hand on hip. And just use this as a release for that right thigh. We just strongly work the thigh. So feel this release. Try to drop your right knee in line with the left. And again, once you've made the shape, maybe you want to go into that internal count for a couple more breaths. And you could just do a few more breaths and come out, or raise the left hand, hold the inner edge of the right foot with the right hand and push the right foot into the right hand to come into Natarajasana, the dancer's pose. This is optional. Otherwise, you just hold the original posture and come out when you're ready. Those in Natarajasana, when you've done a few regulated breaths, notice how easy it is to be regulated when you're balancing. Come back through the original posture and release. Okay, so I'll just give you a moment for everybody's probably at a different stage there. I'll turn my heater down. Okay, and same on the other side. Okay, so feel your right leg strong, feel your right foot spreading, pick up the left foot, heel to the buttock, and we're just really releasing the thigh and the groin here after the strong work of the chair. So drop that left knee in line with the right, lifting the chest, regulate your breath, even in a balance. Let your breath focus be a tool to keep calm. Stay here for a few more breaths, or raise the right arm next to the right ear, spin the left hand so you're holding the big toe edge, push the top of the foot into the palm of the left hand to draw the left shoulder back, maybe taking the weight forward a little bit. Natarajasana, optional. Left leg's working hard if you've chosen to go into the dancer's pose. You can keep the breath regular even in a balance, tricky. When you're ready to come out, if possible, transition back through the first posture. And then if you haven't released already, thinking about coming out. Great. Okay, let's come down onto our bellies. So just lie down if you wish, or we'll flow. Okay, so I'm going to let you do a count if you want. I'm not going to count it out loud. So just inhaling, raising the hands. When you're ready, exhaling, taking the hands down, dropping the head. Inhale, looking up. And when you're ready, exhaling to the plank. Inhaling and exhaling, lowering down to your belly. Knees on or off the floor. And just arrive in your belly. Just take a moment, maybe head on the back of the hands here. Going to change my screen again. And let's just have a little look at our focus today, where it's going to be very challenging. So we'll just start in the Sphinx so I can kind of explain a little bit. So come onto your elbows, have your elbows underneath your shoulders, your forearms parallel, your fingertips spreading, drawing the shoulders back. So here it's relatively easy, I hope, to regulate the breath, even inhales, even exhales. But just observe if there's any shift. Now we've got our body in a different position, we're in a back bend now. Does the inhale feel more challenging than the exhale? Maybe. A bit like in the twists. But hopefully you can do an even count. And if you can't, don't worry. But we're going to go into Shalabhasana next, which is very much where we compress the belly. So it's very difficult to expand the lungs because we're kind of squashing the lungs in the posture. So this is just an exploration. There's no right or wrong, but see if we can regulate the breath, even in Shalabhasana, and what we have to do. Maybe we have to make the inhale smaller so the exhale has to be smaller. Just explore. Everything's an exploration. So we're going to come down onto our bellies, bring the hands to the side of the palms up. So the backs of the hands are on the floor, shoulders drawing away from the ears, press the pubic bone down. Inhale, lift up the head, the arms, the feet, the legs. And just notice, just do that same internal awareness of the breath. And just see, can I regulate the breath here? What do I have to do? Do I have to compress the exhale to match the compressed inhale? Can I do that? So we learn to be able to draw out the breath, but also to compress and condense it when we need to too, to match the count. Just explore. And exhale, release. Turn a cheek to the side. Just let the shoulders and the back relax. So we're going to have one more go at that. And this time I'm going to give you a count. And as always, you can choose to have a go, or you can do your own thing. Just zone out, tune me out as best you can, and go internal to your own count. Okay, so just exactly the same as before, but this time try and match my count. Okay, so bringing your chin or your forehead to the floor, press the pubic bone down, inhale, lift everything up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Last one, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Lower down, turn your other cheek to the floor. Relax the shoulders and the upper back. If you need to, windscreen wiper the legs side to side. And don't worry if you couldn't match that count. It's tricky, really tricky on our bellies. Okay, so if you're quite enjoying this exploration, we're going to do one more back bend, and you can come back to the Sphinx, and this time maybe take it higher if you want, straightening the arms. You could do one more locust, or you could, if you feel prepped enough to do so, you could do the bow. Once again, I'm going to offer a count. So if you're doing the bow, remembering the front of the ankles, push into the palms to draw the shoulders back. And again, we're really pressing the belly here. So it's tricky to breathe. So I'm gonna, because I'm gonna do the count, I'm gonna say when we go up. So get into position, everybody. And then whichever position you've chosen, now we come into it on an inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Last one, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Release. Well done. And of course, again, I didn't cover that before, but if you need to come out before I say, absolutely, please do so. Okay, so again, just rest, and the bow is a strong back bend, so whatever you chose, but especially if you did the bow, maybe just doing a little back release here, windscreen wiping the legs. And something I'm really enjoying at the moment, you take the arms out to the side, so we're going to turn the cheek to the left. Your arms are in cactus shape. This cactus shape, elbow in line with shoulder, palms down, and we're just going to slide the left knee up towards the left elbow. So we're looking to the left. So your left knee is bent, and your inner left ankle is towards the floor. And I'm finding this a really lovely release after this kind of strong back work around my lower back. But if this is not the case for you, if your inner hips or thighs are very tight and does not feel releasing, then just skip this and just lie on your belly with the legs straight, taking some resting breaths. But if, like me, this just feels super yummy and releasing, just take another couple of breaths here. When we're doing more passive, restorative, releasing breaths, I think there's less need to be so disciplined with the regulation, personally. You could continue it. Okay, so then sliding the left knee down so the legs are straight. So again, you're either going to stay there, or we turn to face the right, and we slide the right knee up towards the right elbow. Inner right ankle on the floor now. Or we just stay with the legs straight. Feeling this as a release from the lower back hip area, ideally. And then sliding that right leg back down if you moved it. We're going to come back to child's pose. So bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Press yourself back. Up to you if you want to keep the knees together or take the knees wide and keep the big toes touching. But we're going to sink the hips onto the heels either way. Keep the arms outstretched in front. And just, whilst the arms are outstretched, just do that internal discipline counts. So just a couple of breaths or so, because we're in a kind of more active stretch here. And then allow the hands to come back towards the feet with the palms up, and just let any breath kind of, you can stay aware of the breath, but any conscious alteration of how the breath naturally wants to be, just let that go now. So, you know, there's a time and a place for rigorous mental effort and concentration and discipline. And there's a place for rest and restorative, nurturing practice where we just allow ourselves to be exactly as we are in that moment. And the wisdom of being able to use our yoga practice as a way to nourish us and help us transform and grow is knowing when we need what. But for now, just let the breath discipline go and just be, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. And then when you're ready, just slowly coming up, letting the head come up last. So we'll just do some seated postures, just trying to get all the main groups of postures in today. So we'll just do a seated forward fold and then something for the hips and come onto our backs. Okay, so bringing the legs out in front of us, sitting on a low block if we wish. Legs active, pushing through the heels, toes to the ceiling. Inhale, raise the hands, raise the arms. Exhale, hinge at the hips, roll, fold forward, bring the hands to the legs or feet. Inhale, lengthen from the lower back. Exhale, drop the hand. You can choose to tune into me or not. So we're going to inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, coming up. I'm going to take a seated twist. Draw your right heel in towards your right buttock. And just use that grip on the shin to just lift up through your spine here. And then, if possible, just bring the knee into the crook of the left elbow and bring the right hand behind you. So we're kind of hugging the knee in to help us lift through the spine. Turn to face the right towards your right shoulder. If you wish, you can bring the elbow to the outside of the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, or just continue to hug it in. I like the hugging because it gives this ability to lift up through the spine, but your choice. Keep the right foot sealed on the floor. And again, explore how easy or not it is to keep the inhales and exhales the same in a twist. What do you have to do to make that possible? Notice if you're cheating by speeding up the count on one or the other. Try and be like a metronome, steady rhythm. And at the end of your next exhale, unwind, come back to the center, release the right leg out in front of you, and again, just slide, draw that left heel in. So we're just keeping it to the inside of the right leg today. So there's not really a gap between the left foot and the thigh, and we're using that grip on the front of the thigh, front of the shin, to lift up through the spine. So we're close, we're bringing the thigh or the torso close to the thigh, and then we hug the knee in with the elbow, and we take the left hand behind us. And this is our kind of ability to lift up through the spine because we're hugging the knee. But as I say, if you prefer, you can bring the elbow to the outside of the knee. Once you've found your shape, don't forget the right leg and foot. Come to your breath. Regulate, or at least be aware. These are like the doorways to working with our breath, our prana. Awareness and regulation. And at the end of your next exhale, unwind, just to come to the hips, come to Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of the feet together and the heels close to the buttocks, or hands behind you to bring the groin closer to the heels. If available, hold the outer edges of the feet, or maybe the shins or ankles, whatever you can kind of hold on to. Lift up through the spine. Walk the shoulders back and down to allow the chest to move forward through the upper arms. Lightly draw the chin in. Maybe close your eyes, pratyahara. Breath awareness. Again, tune into me or not. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last breath, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees together. We're going to come down onto our backs. So I want to make sure we've got time for all the finishing postures. So we're coming down to settle onto our backs. And we'll finish with classic kind of back bend inversion and then final resting postures. So bring the heels close to the buttocks. Bring the hands by the sides. And again, we're going to work with this breath focus in a back bend. It's always a bit interesting when the spine's in a different shape. So when you're ready, inhale, lift the hips, coming up, drawing the shoulders underneath, maybe interlacing the hands. Just find the shape. Come into your own internal count or follow me. Inhaling, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Upper back to lower back, releases to the floor. Take a moment, maybe just move the shoulders back if you feel you need to get the whole of the skin on the back on the floor. And again, this is a time to just let go and release here. So just let the breath control go for a moment. Really release the back into the floor. And we'll just take a counter pose. So stretch the legs up to the ceiling, reach the arms overhead, capital L. Take a few breaths. Regulate your breath. I'm so enjoying this breath regulation practice today. Okay, and then bend the knees, bring the hands to the front of the shin or the back of the knees. And this is more like a restorative posture. So up to you, regulate the breath or just simply be aware of how the breath wants to be here. So hopefully you start to kind of tune into which postures are restorative postures that we can be disciplined if we want to. But some postures just have a different quality. And we just feel it for ourselves. When to just go a bit more easy on ourselves. Just use it as a chance to let the nervous system settle, let the heart rate settle, come back to a peaceful place within us. And then we're going to do an inversion. So this will be interesting. But your inversion can be as dynamic or as restorative as you wish. So the usual options, you could go to a wall, sideways on, and swing your legs up the wall. So your buttocks are touching the wall. So the wall would be here. Or you could do that in the middle of the room, either with your hands underneath your buttock, as I'm showing here, with the palms down, or probably on the lowest setting, maybe medium. Only high if you feel super comfortable, but you could also use a block just to elevate the hips slightly. Or we can do a headstand or a shoulder stand or a plow. I'm not going to talk us into our inversions today because I'm focusing on the breath. So any doubts, just do those simple ones I just showed you on the block or legs up the wall. If you've got a confident inversion practice, inversion of your choice. So basically, I just want all your legs in the air. I'm looking for legs. And again, it's like an exploration. Once we're upside down, everything kind of changes. So how is it with the breath once we're upside down? How are we able to regulate the breath or not when we're upside down? So in this one, I'm not going to give you a count because I don't want to stress you in any way. Great, Amy. So once you're up, just have a little investigation. Can you bring your breath to regularity when you're upside down? Ideally, we want to be upside down for at least 10 breaths, but as always, come down earlier if you need. Great, Lauren. Beautiful, Nikki. Yeah, some lovely inversions. Be with your breath. And when you need to come out, when it's time for you to come out, so if you've been in headstand, child's pose, great, Amy. If you've been in shoulder stand, just do a little fish. Those of you who just have your legs up in the air or up the wall, you can just come down and do whatever you want to do. Child's pose, knees to chest, maybe, plugging the knees in, whatever feels good. So just take a moment. And then we will finish with a few restorative postures where we're just going to let breath regulation go and see what happens. To see what the breath does. Maybe it's just naturally going to be more regular after today's class. So this is the idea that gradually as we practice, the breath naturally becomes more even and regular rather than erratic and all over the place, which is great for our nervous system. Okay, so when you're ready, we're just going to come down and we're just going to take a twist. So you can just let your knees come over to the right. I always like to do that little offset, but really there's no right or wrong here. But for me, I like to press through the feet and take the hips ever so slightly to the left and then bring the knees over to the right. But you might prefer just to, not do the offset. But either way, just bring both knees over to the right. You could have a bolster between the knees or underneath the lower leg or a cushion or a pillow. And look over your left shoulder. So your left arm's just extending out along from the left shoulder. And find a position that feels great for you. I like to rest my right hand on the left thigh just to anchor it down, but I know that's not for everyone. So now we don't want to lose our breath awareness, but we just want to see what the breath wants to do. Maybe the breath wants to be really full and really strong. Or maybe it's just kind of dropping away a little bit at this point and being quite shallow. So just kind of let the breath be, but stay aware of it. And allow it to be as full as it wants to be without force. So again, it's that trying to discern the difference between what the mind wants and what the body wants. So often our mind restricts our breath all the time. In fact, whenever we're scared or anxious or stressed, the mind imposes this layer of restriction on the breath. So just by being aware of the breath and super embodied, as we should be after a yoga class, perhaps we can start to feel how the body wants to breathe in this shape. Not the mind. And what feels great, basically, in your body. And then at the end of your next exhale, just with a little bit of core awareness, I like to just do that little tuck of the lower belly back to the spine as we bring our legs back to the center. If you offset, just make sure you do the same the other way. So bring the hips back to the center and over to the right. And then everybody bring the bent knees over to the left. Your right arm's just kind of extending out from your right shoulder. Up to you, what position that's in. Maybe it's all the way behind you. Maybe it's out the side or somewhere in between. Probably do more or less what you did on the other side. And then just breath awareness, or let's say breath and body awareness. So we try to drop our awareness out of the mental plane now. We've really been working in a very beneficial way with the mental plane. But now we're trying to get into that body mind, that body wisdom. How does the body want to be breathed to us? And then again, at the end of your next exhale, just that little core awareness to bring yourself back to the center. And we're going to take one more posture. Happy baby or knees to the chest again, just some kind of symmetrical pose to finish. My go-to finishing posture, it tends to be happy baby, but for some of us that can be a bit intense, and we certainly don't want to be moving into great intensity in this last posture, so maybe just hugging the knees in. Again, just be intuitive with your breath. Allow it to be as full as it wishes to be. Try to let any mind resistance to that sort of just drop away or overcome it by dropping your awareness into your body mind. Kind of really be the breath, feel the breath in your body. You can really feel the breath move your belly, and this helps us take the awareness into our kind of, sometimes it's called the belly brain or the gut brain, the gut instinct, this body wisdom, rather than the head, which we spend far too much of our time in our head as a rule. So just being the breath as you feel it moving your body here. Breath is life force. We want to say yes to our life force. Let it move through us as powerfully as it wants to, as fully as it wishes to, which is as full as it can be. Is the nature of life force. And then when you're ready, we're going to transition to Shavasana. So just letting the feet flop out to the side, slightly wider than the hips, arms away from the side, palms out, checking that central alignment. And the interesting thing in Shavasana with the breath is that this is where we even release our breath awareness. So this is one of the very rare times, maybe the only time in yoga that I can think of right now, where we detach our awareness from everything, including the breath. And one of the magical things of being alive as a human being is that we don't need to think about our breath for our breath to still happen for us. The breath can be consciously altered, or we can move our consciousness entirely away from it and it will still happen. This is the magical bridge that the breath is between the conscious and the unconscious. So just kind of unhook the mind from the breath, unhook the mind from everything. Feel the body become heavy and relax. Feel the bones sink into the earth, be held by the earth, and the floor beneath you, holding you. Like a cradle can relax into its support. Feel tension releasing your muscles. There's no tension in the jaw, gap between the teeth, no tension in the eyes, eyes gently closed. No tension in the forehead, you're not frowning. Have that sense of a Buddha smile on your face, that serenity that smooths out all the creases of the face. And as always, if you have the luxury of time and you're not ready to come out of your Shavasana, then stay right where you are. If you wish to close the class with me, and just start to again become conscious of your breath. That's the first thing we do, is deepen the breath again. Consciously alter the breath to come out of Shavasana. And then bring movement back. Slowly, fingers, toes. Stretch however you need. And just gradually return to seated. Okay, so if we're closing the class with me, I'm just going to close with gratitude. Often the way we close are just palms together. And just cultivating that attitude of gratitude, maybe for your breath, for your life force, this mysterious force that runs through us all, makes our hearts beat and keeps us alive, keeps the lungs moving. And we are all walking miracles. So maybe just gratitude for the mysteries of your breath, your prana, your aliveness. And whenever you feel complete, opening the eyes. Thank you all for practicing with me this evening. Namaste. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks very much.